Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rena Laster with All Things Lifestyle, and we are coming to you today with a broadcast that is going to help you catapult and take your ministry to the next level using your lifestyle. And that is the focus of this show, your lifestyle. We all have a lifestyle. We all have a way that we live, and we all have things that we enjoy doing. And the things that we enjoy doing are actually the things that God has called us to if we are about kingdom business and about ministry. And so, in terms of this show, what I would like to do is engage the audience and to have you to actually tune in with me, join in with me to take ministry to the next level, to take ministry to the streets, as they call it. They talk about these streets, these streets. Well, we're going to be in these streets and we're going to be doing ministry. Ministry is an out of the box concept. Why? Because number one, a lot of times people have the wrong idea about what ministry is. Now, if you watched my last two shows, you saw that we had cooking and we had talking about ministry in the kitchen and ministry to our families. So today I'm going to talk more about just ministry in general so that as you watch the shows, as you tune in each and every week, we will all be on the same page in terms of what ministry is all about. And guess what? Engage you in ministry. We want to be able to engage you to do things that you have been called to do in a fun and out of the box way, out of the box. So what I say is that you need to let down those flaps and walk out and walk into ministry. Walk into ministry into the workplace, walk into ministry in the boardroom, in the kitchen, in the library, in the park. I don't care where you are. You can be walking your dog, whatever you're doing, because we are walking Bibles. There is a quote that says that you're the only Bible that some people will ever read. And that's true. We are the only Bible that some people will read. Some people will never read a Bible. And guess what? They read us. They're reading us each and every day. So those of us who call ourselves Christians are being read. Now, what are they reading when they see you? I was joking with someone the other day at work, and we were talking about an opportunity that came up. And she said, "Well, what verse is that?" I said, "Well, I think that's Rena chapter 6." Because basically, you're reading me, you're reading the influence that God has given me, and you're reading the things that God has purposed in my heart to do for the kingdom. And so when we're looking at ministry, then we are talking about what it is that God has called us to do. We need to get out of that box, get out of our heads when we're thinking that ministry is only for the preacher. Preachers are not the only ones who have been called to go and make disciples. Preachers are not the only ones who are called to be influencers. Preachers are not the only ones who are called to make an impact on the world. We each, we each have something in us. We each have something that we are called to do. The word says that we were created with a purpose. We are created with purpose in us. He knows the plans that He has for us. They are plans to prosper us, to give us an expected end, and that expected end is kingdom. And so, if we look at how we can do the things that we're called to do, then we are going to make an impact. So, what I'm going to talk to you about today is weekend out of the box ministry ideas, weekend out of the box ministry ideas. Because on the weekend is when we have more free time, we have time to plan, we have time to actually look at how we want to use our opportunities. And so, if we're more intentional and more constructive about how we are going to do things, then we can actually make an impact, and we can make an impact with minimal effort. We think a lot of times that it's got to be big, gigantic things that we're doing. No, that's not true. We're going to make an impact where we are, and we're going to make an impact, and we are going to take over the kingdom, take over the earth for the kingdom with just some minimal acts and being our everyday selves. Now, God does not want us to stay the same. He does not want us to be like everybody else. And so we are to be different. and how we impact the world is going to be different. And so, here are some ideas that I'm going to talk about. Verses that we can hang our hat on, or let's see, there's the verse that talks about what you've done unto these, the least of these, you do also unto me. Um, Follow me as I follow Christ. I mean, all over everywhere. It's talking about the spiritual gifts. There are verses and references everywhere that let us know that we all have a part to play. So, number one, what are some with the weekend coming up? These are some things we can go ahead and start to do now. Number one, I would say rest and reset with intentionality to plan for the week ahead of you. Rest and reset to plan for the week ahead of you. Actually, plan to get some rest, plan to regroup, plan to get your mind and all of your faculties in a place where that you know and you say that you're going to be impactful, that you're going to look for ministry opportunities. You are going to actually be ready to minister when those opportunities present themselves. So let's look for opportunities. But guess what? You got to be rested. You got to have your mind cleared. Your mind has to be in a place where you can actually receive from God, and so that you can hear Him and hear that small voice when He is telling you, go here, go there, talk to this person, talk to that person, do this, do that. And so we need to unwind purposefully for the work ahead. We've pretty much had busy weeks, and a lot of times we're doing things that we're running here, we're running there, and a lot of the things that we're doing are oftentimes things that we don't even need to be doing. And so we're going to recalibrate, we're going to reset purposely so that we can hear God and we can be available to Him for the things that He is calling us to do. So, how do we do that? Number one, plan during the week during the weekend to get some quality sleep. Actually, plan to go to bed early. Plan to sleep and get some rest. Well, what does that entail? That entails number one, letting your body know that, hey, I'm about to rest. I'm about to get some much desired sleep, much deserved sleep. And so that means unplugging from our devices. It means preparing your room for sleep. It means getting the right temperature in your room. It means it may mean telling people that you're unavailable after a certain time. Whatever it takes, we got to get ready and let our body know that, hey, it's time to sleep. A lot of times, I hear people talking about the fact that they can't sleep, but a lot of times it's because you have not plugged in and told your body, okay, it's time to shut down now. It's time to listen. We've been busy. We've been doing all these things, but right now it's time for us to get some rest. And it means unplugging those devices. It means turning off the television, turning off the lights, turning off, and sometimes even music, because sometimes I want to have like soft music to make me sleepy or whatever. But what I have found is that sometimes even that soft music is distracting because if a song comes on that I really like, I find myself humming it in my head, or I find myself, paying attention to the music rather than just drifting off to sleep. So I would say a perfectly quiet, dark room, because your body is beginning to know that, oh, this is something different. It's something different going on here. And your body will respond. It will respond because God has created our bodies that way. But oftentimes we are so busy ripping and running that we don't pay attention to the signals that our body is giving us. So plan for quality sleep. Then the next thing I say is, in addition to that sleep, do something decadent, like on Sunday. Plan for a Sunday nap. Plan for a Sunday nap. Y'all, I do it sometimes like after church or after we go out and have dinner. I will come home and I will take a nap. That is a pleasure. It is a pleasure because, we often are made to feel that it's a guilty pleasure. We should not sleep because you're lazy or, whatever. No, I enjoy a good nap. And so I would encourage you to try it. I promise you would enjoy it. And especially if it becomes a habit. And all those thoughts that are coming to your mind when it's talking about you shouldn't be sleeping, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. Because a lot of times when you sleep or when you try to rest, your mind kind of is like a tape recorder. It starts to turn on and you think of all the things you should be doing, you need to be doing, you didn't do. And so I keep paper and pencil by my bed. And what I do is that when those things start coming to my mind, I will write it down. I call it a brain dump. And so if something comes to my mind while I'm trying to rest or while I'm trying to sleep, I do a brain dump. I write it down and then I close my eyes back. If something else comes to mind, I write it down because then you know that you're capturing it. Your mind will let it go because you know that it's going to be there when you wake up. Now, also slow down because this is all preparing you because what you're doing is you're kind of de-escalating, you're letting out some steam, you're getting rid of some of all that pressure and wear and tear and rip and run that you've been doing all week. Do something quiet, read a book, get somewhere quiet, go outside, sit under a tree, go outside and just sit outside. That's something a lot of us don't do. And why I'm saying all these quiet things and these things that we oftentimes don't think about is because it gives God an opportunity to speak to us. We're not out ripping and running and doing all the things that we do, and God is able to talk and we're able to hear Him and we are able to just listen and let Him pour into us, let Him tell us what it is that He wants us to do. Oftentimes we're so busy telling God what we're going to do that we don't have time to hear what He's saying do. So get quiet, read a book, go outside. I have a swing in my front yard and I love sitting in it. I sit there, I watch the people go by, I listen to the birds, I watch people walking their dogs, and God is speaking while I'm sitting there. He will say, when you go in, you need to call this person or you need to call that person or whatever. So unplug, get into a place where you can hear from God. Then plan even maybe to watch some movies with your kids, do something with your family, because all of this is an opportunity for ministry. During the week, we're so busy that we don't really spend time with our families as we should. We're not focusing on family, but remember, we're talking about out of the box ministry. So we're ministering to our families even as we are sitting at the dinner table, as we're watching a movie, because this is a prime time to discuss, for instance, issues with your children, to discuss issues of what they see on the television, what's going on, give them an understanding of these things. That's ministry. That is ministry. When we're looking at, for instance, the children of Israel, when they were in the wilderness and when they were going through all the things that they went through, God was always saying, talk to your children about how I delivered you. Talk to your children about how I provided for you. Talk to your children about all of the things that they need to know about. And so this is what's going on. You can talk to your children about what's going on in the ministry, what's going on in the world, what's going on the television, because you can relate some of the activities and some of the events that you have experienced, some of the things your family has experienced, so that you can talk about how they should respond, how the people on TV responded, and is that appropriate? So there are a lot of things that you can do just watching a movie. And so while you're doing the movie, pop some popcorn, pop some popcorn and enjoy just doing some fun stuff because, like I said, you're slowing down, you're giving your body and your mind a chance to catch up with the things that you need to be doing. Another thing, plan some snuggle time with your mate and with your children. My grandchildren love to snuggle. And, they would always come up and say, Grandma, I want some snuggle time. So sit on the sofa, snuggle with them, snuggle with your mate, because a lot of times we're so busy and going in different directions. You got to make a purposeful effort to reconnect, to reconnect. because this is ministry. I remember Wanda Davis Turner, who is a minister in Atlanta that I listen to a lot. Once she was speaking at an event that I went to, and she was talking about the fact that I think it was one of TD Jakes's events or something that she was there, and she was saying that her husband was sick. He got sick during the event, and she had been ripping and running and going to all of the events, and she did her speaking event, and then when it was time to go to the next thing that was going on, she told them that I can't go. You know why? Because I got some ministry upstairs to do. And what she meant was that she needed to go upstairs and take care of her husband rather than leave him in the room by himself. And, she'd be ripping and running, going to all the different other speakers and, doing the other things that she could be doing. No, she said, y'all, I got to go do a ministry upstairs. So, what about your home? What ministry do you have to do upstairs, in the bedroom, in the kitchen, or wherever? You got to get it done. Then take some time to enhance your family communication. Spend time talking to each other. Spend time communicating, reconnecting, and doing the things you need to do. Plan some meals, meal prep. This is an event that you can do with the kids in the kitchen. You can let them help plan menus. Y'all can look in recipe books and discuss it. Talk about the foods. Talk about where the foods come from. Talk about different ways to prepare the foods. Talk about the health benefits of that food. Talk about if the person doesn't like that food, why? Is it because of the texture? Is it because of the taste? What is the reason? And just have some healthy dialogue and then plan for the next week. Take that time, go into your refrigerator, see what's there, what leftovers are there. Be creative because God was creative and we can be creative too. We don't always have to be ripping and running, going to the grocery store and doing this and that. Get creative and come up with some recipes to use that you already have ingredients for at home. This is something that will help you. Um, let's see. The next thing I'm thinking you can do is revisit your why. Why is it that you're doing what you do? Why is it that you do all the things that you were doing all the week? Revisit the why. Were you really being productive and fruitful? Are you doing things that you really need to be doing? Or are they things that you really need to think about and take off your list or reschedule or whatever so that you can make time for ministry opportunities. You can make time for the things that God has for you to do. Let's look at your schedule during the weekend. See if there are things on there that really don't need to be there. See if there are things that you're doing only because you feel out of obligation or because you feel that you're trying to keep up with someone else. You're trying to get followers and be popular on Facebook. And Facebook has its place. I mean, I use it. But let's make sure that our why is in tune with the ministry and in tune with what God has called us to. Then we can also, let's see, another thing, plan to do some random acts of kindness. This is an opportunity for ministry that you can use during the week. What's some things that you can do, for instance, in the grocery store? There are people who don't believe in God. They don't believe because they don't see us actually being doers of the word rather than just reading the word. We have to be doers of the word. And so sometimes letting someone see us be a ministry opportunity, letting someone see us pay for their grocery because they're down to their last dime and they were praying God make a way. Or if there is a person, an older person that you can carry their groceries out for, just ministry, random acts of kindness. What can we do? The other thing, think about elderly people who are at home alone. Can you make some phone calls to someone? Check on them. Call them to say hello. Call them to say, I'm just thinking about you. See if you can drop off a meal at their house. And with COVID, I understand that a lot of people don't want to get out. They don't want to do a lot of things. But hey, what about dropping it on the doorstep? My daughter had COVID. Her kids had COVID. So I would go over every day and I would put a meal, I would call her, talk to her, check in. We did FaceTime, but I would leave food on their doorstep and I would tell her, I've left you a meal outside, because that way she didn't have to cook and she didn't have to worry about that. She could put her efforts and her energies into getting well. And so, who is somebody that you could bless over the weekend? Is there somebody, a elderly relative, a neighbor, somebody in the neighborhood who never gets any visitors, somebody that you never see? Is there somebody you can check on? Let's be about out of the box ministry. Write text messages to people. You can also write cards, write a letter. These are things, skills, and ministry opportunities that are just waiting for us to use, because writing a letter, I love getting letters and I save them. Or if somebody sends me a really cute card, I save it, I frame it, and I use it for home decor. And so send somebody a card, send somebody a letter, do something nice, and especially unexpected, because people right now need that, not just because of COVID, but people need it anyway. What can we do to minister to people? Because so many people have given up, as I said, on Christian people, because we are not doing the things that we need to be doing. It's not just about going to church on Sunday. It's not about checking that box that says, I went to service today. No, you got to do a little bit more than that, because remember, you may be the only Bible that someone needs. Then there's a verse in the Bible that even talks about the fact that, how are you going to be talking to somebody and ministering to somebody and their stomach is empty, but you don't give them any food? What's that about? You got to show them. Be the hands of Christ, be the feet, be the mouthpiece, and do the things so that people will see that God is real. He has no mouth but ours. He has no hands but ours. He has no feet but ours. And so it is up to us to be about his business. So these are things, and this is, I am at the library, y'all. I'm so sorry. Um, and I did not know that that was going to come on, but y'all, this is real. It's lifestyle. And I am about lifestyle. I'm real. I'm in the library because I come to the library to also read, and I minister to people while I'm here. People ask questions about the broadcast, they ask questions about what I'm doing. And so while I'm here, um, I'm doing out of the box ministry, out of the box ministry. And so wherever you are, you can be a blessing to someone. You can be a blessing and you can minister to people wherever you are. So check on people, look at your schedule, look at your planner. What can you do to be ministering so that God can use you? Now, next week, I'm planning to have some more guests who will be coming and demonstrating out of the box ministry for us. But as of today, I thought I would help you to understand exactly what out of the box ministry is, and to let you know that there are things that you can be doing. So brainstorm, think about what it is that you can do and how God can use you in unorthodox, out of the box ways, in ways that you really haven't thought about, ways that you thought were just being mundane and whatever. And then we're so good at talking about we're bored. No, we don't have time to be bored. We don't have time to be bored. There is so much to be done. The Bible says what? The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. That means there are folk out there. There is work to be done, and we got to get about the business of the kingdom. So think about it this weekend. Begin to pray and ask God what it is that you can do that is out of the box. How can you start to be a minister using out of the box techniques, things that people really don't think about, other than when you go to church? You can do something, even another thing you can do, I thought about, is you can have an online book club. Uh, you can read a gospel book, a ministry book, and get a bunch of women together on Zoom and talk about it. Out of the box ministry. You can have out of the box game nights. You can have out of the box potluck suppers where you talk about what your recipes or your menu is going to be, and everybody plans their menu, and you all eat together, but while you are on Zoom. you know there are creative things that you can do, and you can be having discussions while you're at the dinner table. So come up with different ways, and I will continue to talk about out of the box ministry. I will continue to help give you ideas so that you won't be able to say that you don't know how to minister or what to do. Read some affirmations. This will help you, because if you affirm who you are, read who Christ has said you are, who God has said you are. You know, I am a child of God. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am fruitful. I am someone that God can use. I am a peacemaker. Whatever affirmations that you want to have, and I can list some. We can even do a show on affirmations. Then you can do those, and with affirmations, use those to reinforce who you are and give you ideas about what kind of ministry you can do. Um, the other thing, review your praise reports and review your prayer list, because you can also use the weekend to pray for people and pray with people. So these are just some ideas to let you know that All Things Lifestyle is here for you. It's going to show you how to do out of the box ministry and how we can all be productive influencers in the world today. So you have been listening to Rena Laster with All Things Lifestyle. I am on every Thursday at 5 p.m. Be sure and tune in, listen, and give me ideas. If you have some ideas for a show or some things you'd like for us to talk about, then go to the other platforms, Facebook, for Elevation TV. Go to Rena Laster page. You may go to All Things Lifestyle page, and please go on All Things Lifestyles Facebook page and like it. Join the group there. You can have all kind of opportunities to connect with us. Type my name in, Rena Laster, type it in your search bar, and it will give you all kinds of ways to connect with me. I have books on Amazon, and so connect with me. We're going to do this out of the box ministry together, and we're going to impact the kingdom. So, once again, you've been listening to Rena Laster on All Things Lifestyle, and I look forward to you coming to tune in with me. And I will come to your rooms, wherever you are, your car, wherever you may be located, in whatever part of the world. Join us, and let's do ministry together out of the box and master the master. I call it master the master because there are more than one way. It's more than one way to master the kingdom, to master the Savior, and to be about our Father's business. So let's do this out of the box ministry together. And I look forward to coming back to you on next Thursday at 5. Again, Rena Laster, All Things Lifestyle. Y'all take care, and I'll see you on next week.